Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to day one of Africa's biggest tourism showcase, Africa's Travel Indaba, right here in Durban 2026, and it's happening at the ICC, Durban ICC, and welcome to it. This is day one. We're going to be taking you through many things that's going to be happening, inshallah. So stick around, hang around, and let's enjoy the travel and tourism Indaba. Today we're taking you inside the heart of African tourism, culture, travel innovation, hospitality, and global networking, all happening under one roof. From international tourism boards to local hidden gems, today we're discovering how Africa is positioning itself as one of the most exciting travel destinations in the world.
To Tumelo Sedigani from Nielsen Sports South Africa.
Nielsen Sports South Africa. How important is sports tourism to South African industry, South Africa's economy right now?
I think it's highly important. The tourism sector on its own is massively important. It drives so much money into the country. And similarly, if you look at sports in isolation, it does a similar thing. It's got a brand job that it does for South Africa in its entirety. And I think the moment you combine and you fuse those two sectors, you have the ability to go and amplify or quadruple the economic output that both industries can deliver together.
What makes South Africa such an attractive destination for international sporting events?
I think we've got one of the best infrastructures of, in the world. There's a variety of places and cities and provinces that we can go to. If you look at South Africa within the African context, it is a well sought after country. And I think beyond sports itself, there are so many other amazing destinations that you can take advantage of from a holiday point of view, from an extended stay point of view. So not only would we be able to go and host a sporting spectacle successfully, but we have so many other features within South Africa that just makes us so attractive and so compelling compared to the rest of the world.
Just off the sports topic, what's the biggest thing that Africa bringing to the global tourism? What's it in 2026? What's the biggest thing that you think, in your opinion, they're bringing to Africa's contribution in terms of tourism?
I think the answer there is opportunity. And the reason why I'm going to blanketly say opportunity is because knowing what I know about Africa and knowing the research that I have got access to, I think a lot of people are unaware of this untapped potential that Africa has. And I think not a lot of people are investing into those opportunities and taking advantage of what potentially could be. So I think the moment investors, external global partners, or whatever the case you want to call it, the moment all of those entities actually take a zoomed in lens of Africa in its entirety, picked on something and worked on it, I think that it will maximize the potential that Africa has as a whole.
Just off the complete topic, people that are not here, people that are not visiting, people that have not experienced the travel Indaba, what message would you give to them?
I would say that they must go get a ticket and come here next year, first and foremost. But I think secondly, I'd say to them, be part of the conversation in some shape or form. So if you're not here, are you following the socials? How are you contributing? Are you doing enough to go and find out who was there, what was being said, what was being spoken about? Because if you have some sort of interest in any shape or form, you need to be able to go and exploit that interest and take it and make it your own. So do whatever it is that you can to talk to people, reach out, and to follow the respective platforms and get the information that you need. But also come here next year.
NBA in Africa, the growth of NBA, the positive impacts that we're seeing. What can you tell us on Hilaal TV?
Basketball, the NBA has been in Africa unofficially since 2003 when we first brought out the Basketball Without Borders. As an office, we opened up in 2010 in South Africa, and that was our launch into the African continent. What we've done from an impact perspective is we've come into the continent by getting involved at grassroots level first. So this is where we initiated junior NBA programs that were started off in South Africa and have grown through the rest of the continent, and it's now a global program. This program caters for children, boys and girls, from the age of 8 to 14, and then they then move on to the more elite programs like Basketball Without Borders.
Basketball Without Borders. As we spoke, you mentioned Joel Embiid, you've mentioned Pascal Siakam. What positive impacts are you seeing from Basketball Beyond Borders? We've seen also positives from South Sudan doing well in the Olympics. So what more positives are you seeing also with regards to travel and tourism? What influences has basketball in Africa brought about in the continent?
I think first and foremost is, yes, there are the likes of Pascal Siakam, there is Joel Embiid, and the elite players that do make their way onto the NBA. But let's not forget that even for other youth that participate here, it creates avenues for them to be able to get into the college system in America. So they get drafted and picked from the Basketball Without Borders program, which then creates lifelong opportunities for them to make careers and lives for themselves through basketball and beyond basketball. Your other question, sorry.
The other question was positive impacts. We've seen South Sudan doing well in the Olympics, and also we're seeing partnerships that are coming from nations like Rwanda when they're hosting certain tournaments, and you also mention of Senegal as well. So what contributions are we seeing from other states, and what positives are we seeing also from the contribution of basketball beyond borders?
Well, our involvement with African states is a partnership. So the BAL, for example, is a caravan model, and a caravan model means we go from country to country. Yes, our anchor support base is Rwanda with the Visit Rwanda program, but we've just had a successful conference here in South Africa, which we call the Kalahari. Last week was the conclusion of BAL in Morocco, which is called the Sahara Conference. Respectively, South Africa had 38,000 attendees. Morocco had 35,000. This is over a short period of eight game days. So, from a support base, the impact is felt right through from a tourism perspective, from an attendance perspective, from a participation perspective. We are seeing the growth of basketball happen, and of course, the ecosystem keeps on growing. Our offices as a BAL are situated in Senegal. So again, the impact is felt real live in Senegal. And of course, even in Egypt, we do have a presence of an NBA office. And we've also had the BAL being hosted in Egypt as well.
We've seen the basketball in the USA where they do this program of drafting. How involved are African states? Because we've seen a lot of European players getting into NBA through the programs of drafting. People like the Milwaukee Bucks big man Yanis. Yeah, we saw that he was taken also from Greece, and then we saw Wembanyama also coming from France. So, are we involved in African schools? Are we having such programs that get them involved and exposed to NBA at a younger level?
I think it all starts with development. So this is the project that is happening right now. The countries that you mentioned are in a privileged position of having structures in place and a talent pool and drive that delivers straight to the NBA. We are developing that pipeline, and I think through programs such as Basketball Without Borders, which caters for the elites, that's how we make our contribution from an African perspective into the big leagues of the NBA.
I'm Sinenjabulo Zunguntuli. I represent Amazulu Football Club as their CEO.
Sweet, nice. Just let us know what is the contribution to, in terms of soccer, as people would call it, football, and what has Amazulu's done contribution to the tourism industry as well?
Look, I think just as a football club, we have a lot to contribute and we have a big role to play in tourism. There's something I really liked that Utumele mentioned in the session. He said sports is tourism. And by virtue of Amazulu being a football club, it is tourism. I think you get a lot of people coming from outside of Durban and outside of the province coming to watch games. That in itself is tourism because it doesn't only impact on the game attendance, it impacts on hospitality, it impacts on restaurants, it impacts on activities around Itegu that could possibly be partnered or collaborated with sports. So it definitely has a lot to contribute. And just from even a local economy as well, where you get street vendors participating in games, that I think is of value as well.
What in your personal opinion is what in your personal opinion drives the tourism industry? Except obviously there's sports involved, there's a lot of other things. What in your personal opinion drives people to come for these events such as the Africa Travel Indaba and the football games as well?
I think there's a lot of factors, but I think we all come in for different reasons. Some are coming to collaborate, to form partnerships. Some are wanting sponsorships. Some are just wanting to see what role they play or they can play in tourism, in the ecosystem, in the value chain. It's all for different reasons. I mean, for me myself as a club, it's for a number of reasons, but one of them is I want my brand to be out there, to be visible, and to see how I can collaborate with tourism, how I can collaborate with other brands within corporate, and what are the lacks that we have as a club that we can improve upon to make sure that we are actually a commercial brand that can sell something, a story that is viable.
What do you think 2026 and 2027 has to offer in the tourism industry?
Yo, I'm not too sure, but I think, look, it speaks to what I was saying earlier on, that collaboration is so important. Without sports, tourism can survive, and without tourism, sport can survive, but it's better if they both collaborate. It's a conversation that was had earlier on, that what would the one do if the one ceased to exist or pulled out? You can't decouple. They are one. Sports is tourism. So I think for me, it's just they need to collaborate. They need to work better together, and not isolating certain sports. I personally do not think that football gets as much attention as other sporting codes. To what degree, I'm not too sure. I don't have facts, but this is just my feel, because I don't feel that we as a club even get the kind of support that I would like us to get from the likes of tourism, whether it's Durban tourism, KZN tourism, South African tourism. But I just really think that we all have a part to play in tourism, and yeah, we need to give each other that grace.
A message to those that are not at the Tourism Indaba 2026, that are missing out, that have never been to the Tourism Indaba or Travel Indaba. What message would you give them?
I think these kind of platforms offer a lot in terms of information. Even myself sitting on that panel, there's quite a few things that I picked up that I wouldn't have otherwise picked up. I think if you're just really wanting to learn, and wanting to find your space or your place in the value chain, these are the kind of platforms you need to come to, and these are the kind of people you need to engage with, because not only are some of them decision makers, but I think some of them are it just provide you with the kind of information that you need to have.
Good day, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
Good, who are we speaking to?
You're talking to Adam Brown?
Adam Brown. Who do you represent?
I represent several companies. So we're a sports investment company, so Racing Africa Investments, TLJ Investments, Red Strike Group. So yeah, we're involved in a lot of sports.
Just a question that I just asked you a few seconds ago. Would we be able to host the F1 racing in Durban, South Africa?
I think the way I'm going to answer that question is I think South Africa's proven its ability to host mega events. The IP sits here, the infrastructure sits here, the will sits here. The question around will we be able to host the Formula One in Durban is a question that nobody can answer other than Formula One, and I think that's the mistake a lot of people make. Decision's not ours; it's their decision to make. What we've got to do is put a bid together that gives the best foot forward that meets their requirements. I don't see why Durban shouldn't be able to put a bid together that could meet those requirements.
Motorsport in South Africa, I would say, is an underrated sport, and not many people make a noise about it. What can we do, and what in the tourism industry to change that?
I think it's a lot like we were saying on the panel there. It's about collaboration, it's about talking, it's about dialogue, it's packaging, it's making the relevance of the destination. There's a lot of people in South Africa involved in motorsport. It's like you say, it's under recognised because they're getting on with it. We did the Kyalami 9 Hour for 4 years. We got a massive response. We built the national series up. Guys took it over SAES, built a big series up. You've got the hill climb that happens every year down in Nines, and that gets a massive response to it. So there's a motorsport family which is passionate and engaged daily. There's a broader family. I was in Qatar with one of the ministers. We couldn't walk 10 meters without bumping into a South African. So we talk about international guys coming to us for a race, for a motor race. I'm telling you now, South Africans travel around the world to watch Formula One. Qatar, Baku, unbelievable how many South Africans were walking in those races.
What's your message to people that are not here at the Travel Indaba, and what message can you give them to motivate them to come join us and have a discussion?
I think my motivation, I think the biggest story around success and sustainability is conversation, it's dialogue, it's collaboration. If you're not in the room, you're not in the room. It's as simple as that. If you're not engaging in the conversations, if you're not meeting with your competitors, if you're not collaborating with the other people in your industry and you're trying to do it alone, you will fail. It's, you know, for me, it's been proven time and time again. You need to meet, you need to have dialogue, you need to collaborate together.
Day one of Africa's Travel Indaba 2026 in Durban at the ICC. A wonderful day, and we are joined by two of the volunteers that are assisting with a whole lot of stuff that's happening with the Durban ICC at the Africa Tourism Indaba in 2026. And we're speaking to here on our right and also our left, we are speaking to
Slindile Ngoseka.
Zaita Filmon.
Zayda Fulman, both of them from DUT. And what are you guys studying at DUT?
We're doing advanced diploma in tourism management.
Both of you?
Yes.
Oh, sweet. Nice. Okay, so in tourism management, advanced diploma in tourism management, which falls right under the category of the Travel Indaba. So it makes them the right people to actually assist in this. So how has your first experience been in day one at the Travel Indaba?
It has been a lovely experience, exploring, seeing big people, and getting to know that ecosystem, it's more than just a course. There's more to it. So it's been a lovely experience.
Yeah, we're able to like get an opportunity to meet like different people like from all over like tourism, since it's such a huge like industry. So like it's been a lovely experience, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing what more it can offer us.
Okay, what has been your highlight so far since day one? I know you guys have been getting to behind the scenes way before, at least a week or a month before this. What has been your highlight of getting this thing together and until this moment?
I would say my highlight for me is actually like getting to see like everything being put together, because we were able to see like the people who were working in constructing, you know, like designing all the sets and the marquees and everything. So it was really nice to like actually see everything like put together like for day one, to see how beautiful it actually looks. So like I would say like that's my highlights, because I actually seen like the hard work they were putting into it, like to make sure that like the event is successful as it is right now. So I would say that's the one for me.
My dear, she said everything. Thank you.
She has said everything. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies. We're going to see you over the next 4 days or 3 days left from the Africa's Travel Indaba in 2026 happening at the Durban ICC. For those of you that are not here, you should be here. Get yourself a ticket at least for next year and come and have a look at this place. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. This is Durban. This is Africa, showing the world what we can offer. So this is where the world meets. Africa, Durban Travel Indaba 2026 happening in Durban ICC. What an incredible first day here at the Travel Indaba 2026 in Durban. Today we saw culture, innovation, business, tourism and global connection all come together in one powerful space. Africa's tourism industry is not only growing, it is evolving, diversifying and opening its doors wider to the world. From all of us here at Hilaal TV, thank you for joining us on day one coverage. I'm Ahmed Abdul Latif reporting from Durban. See you tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.